What's poppin', ladies and gentlemen? It's your boy Enloe, back with another narrated martial arts video. Going back through the archives, just trying to provide narration and context for some of my old videos. This is from March 2013 when I competed in a Kempo 5.0 tournament. My opponent standing across from me is Vlad. He's actually a friend of mine and a training partner. He actually notified me of this tournament that they were having that would have MMA-like rules, and I come from a Kempo background. I got my black belt in Kempo when I was 18, exactly a month before I graduated high school. And I started Kempo when I was 16. I got my black belt in about 2.5 years, which is interesting. But I really went all in with it. My parents supported me at the time. I was still getting good grades in school, so I would go train and I'd go hard. But I threw back on the old gi and went out there and gave it a shot. It's me and Vlad going at it, exchanging kicks first. Miss with a lazy leg kick, and I throw the back fist. I like to throw the back fist as a jab. I'll mix between the conventional jab and the back fist. Back fist takes a weird angle. I actually learned that from watching a Sugar Ray Leonard versus Floyd Mayweather fight. Floyd Mayweather Sr. to be exact. Sugar Ray Leonard was throwing the jab, and it looked like how martial artists throw the back fist. Here I am trying to go for a Tai Otoshi that missed. He just stepped over, and at least I backed out with like a kick. Boom. I love my spin kicks back then. Still do, but I try to be a little wiser with them and not throw them as much, or at least set them up. And then stepped in and stuffed them there. We're in the clinch, throwing knees, and I back out. I like back then that even back then I was at least backing out of the clinch with strikes. And I did it again there too. We're moving. This kind of signifies the beginning of the end for this round for me, because ground game was almost non-existent back then. I was doing some Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, just a lot of it didn't click for me until later. Here I am in side control. Okay, goes to half guard. So yeah, I met Vlad working in nightclubs. Met a lot of people I know working in nightclubs. I worked in nightclubs for a while, but Vlad comes from Russia, as you can tell by his name. He was a gymnast. He was in the army or in the military out in Russia. He learned sambo out there. He's also a judo black belt. Like, really good karate guy. Could break baseball bats with his shin. So yeah, he's a real deal. So no surprise that I lost him. And we just trained together too, so he like knows my game in and out. I mean, I know his too a little bit, but I just didn't adjust well enough. So yeah, he opens with a flurry of kicks of his own, look just like the movies. We're going at it. I don't like turning away from him like that. And he hits the Maki Kome throw, but I was able to kind of reverse it there. But we're out of bounds anyway. So the ref, the ball gentleman, he found out we trained together, and he perfectly put us together in the opening match, which I think is like a dick move. I mean, it's one thing if we meet later on, like in the finals or semis, whatever, but start us off opening, like, yeah, I hate that. And I was in a tournament, a Brazilian Jiu Jitsu tournament recently where that happened. Almost swapped Vlad there and push kicked him there. But yeah, it's missed with that sloppy hook kick, and I almost fell, so almost ran out. Well, I did run out. So that was pretty much the end of the round there. Vlad took it. I wind up placing third. Ooh, charged me there. At least I was able to sidestep. So yeah, I took third. Vlad took second, and Vlad's student took first. But there's another student that I fight in this next video coming up, and I beat him pretty soundly. The one that took first, he broke off and made his own school. He had already had his own dojo for a while, but he had got his black belt under Vlad. And this gentleman is another one of Vlad's black belts too. And this was a black belt heavyweight division. I'm 6'3" and I sit somewhere between 220 and 250. Yeah, I'm throwing that back fist as a jab again. Missed with the leg kick. Oh, he actually stuffs me there with his front kick. Now back on the mats. Yeah, interesting thing about the rule set is that Kempo is such a gritty street, heavy fighting based style that you could kick to the nuts in this tournament. It was not considered a foul. Like it was 1 point. So super crucial that you were a cup. Spin out of this. He falls. I go to side control. Went for some arm bars that didn't pan out because of sloppy technique. That was sloppy. At least I'm transitioning well. That was a good transition. I do eventually get an armbar on him, and that's because that technique was tight. Like it should have been. And another interesting thing to know about this tournament is that, oh, there, my opponent is winded, is that once I got the submission on him, it didn't end. Like, they stood us back up, and I could get another one. Lead with a two-piece, boom, falls off of it. Passes guard, put a weird knee on belly, and that's the tight armbar. And hitting the submissions gave you like a cluster of points, something like three or 5 points. So it pushed you up a lot over your opponent. And he's getting winded. So he's calling for breaks. Round's about to end anyway. At least I led with that strong hook there. Should have just threw the kick. And that's time. Now here we are, round two. Just letting you guys know he's just going to gas himself out. And he's going to retire off of exhaustion anyway. But I beat him pretty soundly in round one. I let him kind of tire himself out on purpose in this round. Almost swept him there. Because I'm moving around him and circling around him so much. And he's throwing. He's really trying to, because he's trying to catch up on points. But no, not happening. That spin kick actually kind of landed. It hit him in the shoulder or something. I do have a tendency to get kind of complacent, especially when the first round was so strong. I'm just like, all right, well, I did my part. Ooh. Yeah. At least I throw spin kicks a lot better now. Check the kick. Check that one too. Yeah, he's pretty tired. So, like I said, I got third, Vlad got second. So, not too happy with that placing, but it's fun to compete either which way. And me and Vlad were tired that night too, because the night before we had just worked at the club. So we came into this tournament very little sleep. This tournament, or this is not a tournament, this sparring match here was from 2010. I forgot what month, but the guy I'm going against is anonymous. I'm going to keep him anonymous. She's still doing him a favor all these years later because he actually messaged me. He went back to China and he was messaging me to take this video down because he was so embarrassed by his, fighting skill at the time. But that's not my problem. And the thing is that, like, he's actually not new to martial arts. He's done martial arts a good 10 years at least. He's just new to sparring. And this is a huge problem that you see in the traditional martial arts, and why the traditional martial arts don't have the respect that they have anymore, because they allow this discrepancy to happen where people can do martial arts but not know how to fight. If someone went to a dance class and still couldn't dance, you would think this person got robbed. But for some reason, this is accepted behavior in traditional martial arts. So I used to wear these big DC skate shoes. They made it easier for me to slip on and off. I thought they were cool at the time, but sometimes it would make for wardrobe malfunctions. So here we are. This is like a session to kind of help coach him too, if you haven't already noticed. So it's not just sparring like 100%. It's to help coach him. He wanted to start sparring because he wanted to do a tournament, and we used to do this tournament at the Lohan School of Shaolin called the International Chinese Martial Arts Championship, ICMAC. So not too long after getting my black belt in Kempo, first degree black belt, I started going to Lohan School of Shaolin. Started getting into Northern Shaolin and Tai Chi Praying Mantis. But the school also has a strong internal program as well. So if you're into Tai Chi, Qigong, Bagua, you should come check us out in Las Vegas, Chinatown. So, yep, here we are, like kind of coaching him about. I think he was getting coached right there about not throwing the spinning back fist, and he did that a ton in this video because he kept turning his back. Don't turn your back when you're getting. I mean, I did too in the previous video, but I mean, it's something that just has to be coached out. So Anonymous actually took gold, and boom, I hit him with a blitz there. So Anonymous and a bunch of people from the school that competed that year all medaled, a lot of golds and silvers. And about that blitz that I hit on him, they wanted me to spar with him specifically for two reasons. One, because they're both tall. Anonymous is about an inch or two taller than me. And then on top of that, like, I still had that Kempo style, that Kempo Kaju Kempo style that, as far as sparring is concerned, is blitz. You'll see that a lot. Especially in the old point and continuous sparring circuit that is almost non-existent nowadays because MMA and kickboxing have taken over, which that's not a bad thing. Help bring legitimacy back to the martial arts. So here we are exchanging kicks. Try to coach him on his ballet pirouette style spin kicks because they're a little too lazy. I think that's coming up here. Yep, that's it. Try to show him how to throw like a spin hook kick. I was so tall and lanky, I just kind of arms just flop around when I do things. But yeah, I'm trying to show him like a spin back kick there. Or like the spin back kick and the spin hook kick, in case you guys don't know, should all come from the same chamber. Just one whips out into a circle. The other one is like, I throw my spin back kick is really like a turning side kick. And there I blitzed him again. Rushed him with the hands. There's Buddha J. He's giving input as well on how to throw like a capoeira almost style Mealua type of spin kick. It's Easy in the corner. I've known Easy since I was like 12 years old. Done a lot of my tattoos. He's a tattoo artist himself, so it's popular here in Vegas. You should hit him up as well. I'm sparring mostly southpaw here. I used to do that until someone told me one day that I looked off balance. Now, in 2019, if you don't know how to switch stances, you're going to get left behind. You got a lot of TJ Dillashaw type people that switch stances. It's almost funny to watch him. Like, I had to back up. I had to just stop a little bit, too, because he's just doing that whole, like, freak out. I'm just going to throw spin back kick, spinning back fist. And that's the end of that video. This is the last small clip to cap this video session off, this narrated video off. And because this has been going on too long. If you've made it this far, thank you. But yeah, I'm about to end this man's night. Not on purpose, though, but we went a little intense there. And boom. If you like the video, like, comment, subscribe, share with your friends, leave a comment below about what I could do better, what I did good. Hope you learned something. Have a good night.